time ago, around my age of, I believe I was 10, I was the reason why my mother fell on her face in front of dozens of people. So, this was during a time where I was doing martial arts and we would go out to eat afterwards. So with my mom and my dad. Yeah, my mom and my dad. And during the time, my mom fell and she broke her foot. That was not because of me. That was because she was closing a window and she fell. And it wasn't like a big, like, oh, like her whole ankle fell apart. It was like a really, it was a crack in like the middle of her foot somewhere. But it was like in a really like awkward and uncomfortable place. So that's when she did break her foot. So I remember during the time we were going to a Chinese restaurant, right? And I don't remember the details, but we ate and everything. And my mom had the wheelchair and crutches too, just to help. It was a bit easier. We basically had everything just in case. So during the time, for some reason, my mom didn't want to use the wheelchair at the time. She wanted to do the crutches. And when she would do the crutches, she wouldn't do them right. Like, when you would go like lean your weight on them or like, I don't know, like, right. Anyways, it wasn't like she would like stomp them on the ground. And it wasn't, again, it wasn't like the correct way of doing it. But then my dad and I decided, hey, we're just gonna like fuck around. So my dad was in the wheelchair and I was pushing the wheel. I was just running. I was like running and pushing my dad, like just having fun. And then my mom was in the back there and trying to get like go faster because I was just running around. I was gonna run around and come back, but my mom was like trying to call us, and for some reason, when she called us, she face planted on the floor because the crutches flew out. And to the surprise, by the way, this was during this was in a Chinese like restaurant area. So there's people sitting and the windows. And okay, but basically when my mom fell, my dad jumped up with the wheelchair. I turned around and we both like ran to my mom to go pick her up. But if you were one of those people that were sitting next to the window, you would see this lady in crutches. You would see a guy in a wheelchair. The guy in the wheelchair stands up, he jumps up and turns around to get my mom. And it was just it was a very strange day because it was completely our fault because we were messing around with the wheelchair. But at the time she didn't want to use the wheelchair, so we're like, okay, we're just gonna run around with it. But when my mom was on the floor, people behind us, helped her and picked her up, and then we put her in the wheelchair. It then rode her away. But yeah, there was a story of how it was our fault. I know it was 100% our fault. I was 10, 12. I was just, and since she didn't want to use the wheelchair, we're just like, all right, we're just gonna play around with it. Like, who cares? But as you can see from bystanders, what do you say? Bystanders' point of view, like, why the fuck was the lady that had the broken foot not sitting in the wheelchair and the guy who could stand in the wheelchair? Yeah, that's my story. It wasn't like she didn't break her face or anything. It was all fine, but I just that story just reminded me somehow of that. All right, thanks for listening. Okay, bye.